we got to look at the defensive side of the football for the Buffalo Bills, and we are going to look at Phil Hansen. Defensive end Phil Hansen was a fantastic football player for pretty much a guy that was overlooked because on his other shoulder he had Bruce Smith. Honestly, Bruce Smith, that's a tough, tall task to kind of keep up with him, and he was able to get a lot. But you're looking at a guy in Phil Hansen that was able to get double-digit sacks. He was able to get to the QB, and honestly, great presence. Unfortunately, no, I did not put Mario Williams on here, mainly because I see Mario Williams more of a Houston Texan than a Buffalo Bill. So, but overall, Phil Hansen should be on this list. I think it's fantastic, and I think this is a good start to the D-line. Now, I'm using a 3-4 defense. I think they had better linebackers on this team, organization-wise, than D-line, so I'm going to use a 3-4 on this team. And the nose tackle will be Fred Smerlas, a player that played from 79 to 92, a guy that was able to stuff the run, a guy that was an all-pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, a guy that I would say can clog the lane and can do wonders. I honestly believe him with Phil Hansen, yeah, it's a pretty good tandem right now. Now, you got defensive end Bruce Smith. It's really self-explanatory. He's the best football player ever on this organization. He is the best defensive end of all time. He's a guy that has 200 sacks. No one will ever eclipse that. Not even if you want to try. Honestly, that's very hard to do at a very high level for many, many years. And honestly, his body of work is fantastic, and his entire the way he became this presence is fantastic. I mean, you're looking at, having more sacks than LT, having more sacks than a lot of guys. That, in my honest opinion, is really impressive. So you gotta, it's a no-brainer. He's going to be that, Buffalo Bill for his entire career, and he is a legend out there. He will always be a legend. I think he is scary. I think a lot of linemen will be very, very scared to verse Bruce Smith. Now, you got a 3-4, and you got to start with outside linebacker. On the left side, it's going to be Cornelius Bennett. Cornelius Bennett, a very big reason this defense and this team as a whole got to where they were. They got to 4 straight Super Bowls. Cornelius Bennett was a big, big asset to them. Honestly, Hall of Famer? Yes, I honestly think he is a Hall of Famer. I think you definitely should look at his numbers and everything he's done. He should be a Hall of Famer. Great outside linebacker. An all-pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. Honestly, nothing better than to say much about him. He's just a great player that has impacted so much into that city, into that town, into this team. And without a Cornelius Bennett, who knows? Bruce Smith can't do it alone. So I think Cornelius Bennett's got to have a lot of respect. Now, you got your left inside linebacker, Shane Conlon. Shane Conlon, yes, he is going to be right there alongside Cornelius Bennett. Shane Conlon, a guy playing from 87 to 95. Another guy that was there around pretty much 3 out of the 4 times getting to the Super Bowl. A guy that's had 100-plus tackles, a guy that can get sacks, a guy that can force fumbles, a guy that can do almost anything. That's what you need out of a playmaker, so I think that's what they got with him. And honestly, I really do think that, in all honesty, the biggest strength on this team is going to be the linebackers. If the linebackers can play well, they have a very good shot at really making this an interesting season in this imaginary season world kind of thing. Right inside linebacker, right next to him will be Mike Stratton, a guy that, yes, is one of the best linebackers, one of the best football players in Buffalo Bills history. So Mike Stratton, a guy that was a 6-time Pro Bowler, a guy that was a 3-time All-Pro, a guy that literally crunched when he tackled, man. He was a hard hitter, and you need a really good hard hitter kind of player. You need a playmaker, and having Cornelius Bennett along with Conlon, I mean, having Stratton there, I'm telling you, I really like this. entire linebacking core. I think they can do some really good damage. And wait until you see the outside linebacker on the other side. I think that could be pretty intriguing, pretty scary. Now, to end this linebacking core, it's going to be right outside linebacker Talley, another guy that's been around for a very long time in Buffalo. Pretty much a guy that's been there for their 4 straight Super Bowl titles. A guy that was a focal point, a guy that was a tackling machine. Honestly, in my honest opinion, should have won an MVP in terms of Defensive Player of the Year. He just had that knack of just being there. And he's not a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Yes, he deserves that recognition of possibly being in there. I would think that the senior committee would definitely have Cornelius Bennett, Talley as kind of 2 dudes that you're gonna have to debate. I think they both deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, honestly. But when you have these type of caliber of players on this entire defense, on this entire team, I believe this could be a pretty interesting group of guys. Now, to start the secondary, you got cornerback Charles Rooms. And in my opinion, I think Buffalo is definitely a team that's definitely not having a wide range in terms of they don't have a successful career of developing like all-time great corners. I think for Charles Rooms, he's just going to be a guy that's going to get there. He can definitely get interceptions. He can definitely do different things. And I honestly think he can be very impactful to the defense. I don't know how he's going to do with super talented receivers, So that's going to be kind of a discussion for a later note. I think, that he is one of the 2 best guys on the Buffalo team for being a corner. So, I think definitely the weakness right now is definitely the corner position. I think Romes could be targeted a lot. So he will definitely be having to just continue to work on his ball hawking skills at that point. Now, to get with the free safety wise, it's going to be Tony Greene. Tony Greene, a guy that was an All-Pro, a guy that was a Pro Bowler, and played for the Buffalo Bills in 71 through 79. And, he had his share of pretty good moments, was definitely in a pretty good amount of games. Was a guy that could get interceptions, was a guy that could return it for touchdowns. Definitely a guy that can be an impactful player. So I think, I think he could do really good things. Definitely, he's not up there in terms of best free safeties ever. So we'll have to see how he does. I think he will be pretty good for the most part, though. Now, you got the strong safety. You'll be Henry Jones, a guy that played that strong safety position pretty much his entire career. A guy that honestly is very overlooked. Another guy very overlooked on this defense that got to 4 Super Bowls. I believe Henry Jones, he was a big part of, 3 out of the 4, of course, because he got drafted in 91. He's a very big part of how this team just succeeded to get back to back. I think, honestly, Henry Jones is just, he's an overlooked secondary guy that is a ball hawk, a guy that can definitely do some really great things, and I think he is the leader, he is the captain of the secondary, in my opinion, for this team. I think he's going to set the bar high. He's going to let guys know this is how we're going to do it. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to play our hearts out and, try to win. Now, you're going to have the corner as Butch Burt, and he is their best corner on this team overall. Being a 5-time Pro Bowler, being a 3-time All-Pro, a guy that can definitely shut it down super quickly. I think, big thing, like I said, Romes, that's a guy that you have to kind of be worried about. And I think their free safety, the guy you kind of have to be worried about. In my honest opinion, this right side where you have, Jones and you have Bird here, that's the strong side. I think definitely that will be the area where people will not be attacking. They'll be attacking that Romes corner area, that corner for sure a lot. But Bird's going to be pretty tough to handle. So I think overall, half and half, I like their secondary. Kicker, it's going to be Christie, a guy that's not that accurate. I mean, you're going to see, 80s, high 80s, mid 80s, not 90s at all. He's definitely not a 90s kind of percentage kind of guy. Scott Norwood was not there long enough for me to honestly put him on here. Steve Christie is the guy. He's able to make the 50-plus yards. He's able to make the 40, the 39. He's got a leg, but his accuracy is definitely a question. So, I honestly, this is their best shot in terms of this is their best kicker. And yeah, they just got to roll with this, see how they do. I believe Steve Christie will do pretty fine, but he's definitely going to miss kicks. You're going to have punter Brian Moorman. That's pretty much what you got. Brian Moorman is pretty much, you get paid to punt. That's pretty much what you do. What you're doing is you're getting paid to punt, you're getting paid to pin him down deep. Brian Moorman does that. He's a future Hall of Famer in my honest opinion. He definitely should be recognized as one. Has been doing it for a very long time. He's doing it for this Bills team for a very, very long time, and you got to put him on here. So that's a no-brainer for me. Pretty much the return man will be Kevin Williams. Pretty much the best guy I could see. Like I said, overall, what I saw from him in the 2 years that he was there, short 2 years for him, was he was able to have pretty decent punt returns, pretty decent kick returns, none back for touchdowns, but definitely had some long runs. Fast, speedy guy that can do a lot. And I think his presence, I think he'll do fine. I think returning kicks, punt returns, he'll definitely pin him at the 30, 35. He'll definitely have some pretty good runs where he gets a great field of precision for Jim Kelly to just start, honestly, just moving that offense that they have, that I believe is pretty good. The coach is going to be Marv Levy, and 1, he's a Hall of Famer. 2, he led him to 4 Super Bowls and really changed the culture of this entire organization. A team that used to be pretty good in the 60s, 70s, kind of faltered a bit. Wasn't that great after that, and he finally got him to a level of, this greatness of, we're almost there. We almost could have won titles, 4 of them, to be exact. 4 times getting to the Super Bowl. In my opinion, that's a great leader. It's a great coach. No, he didn't win it, okay, but he knows how to get there. I mean, he was doing something right. His formula was going right. And I think with these players that he's got, I think they'll do pretty great. I think they will end up winning a few games. Not saying like a few, like 4. I'm saying like I'm sure they will win some games, and I think they'll have a chance at winning the Super Bowl. So, this is definitely, in my opinion, I'm very excited. I always love these kinds of teams, the marketing teams that are, kind of overlooked. I think they've had a chance of developing some unbelievable players throughout the years.